Imagine sitting in your Monday morning meeting and not understanding half the words your own team is using. RAG, MCP, vibe coding. It feels like the world learned a new language overnight and forgot to send you the memo. MIT researchers recently measured current automation capabilities, finding that 11.7% of all jobs could be replaced today. This is a measurement of the present, recorded while you sit here watching this. That means a 22-year-old intern on your team using the right software is finishing in 2 hours what used to take you 2 full days of work. And somehow, you're expected to catch up while still doing your actual day job. Escaping that pressure starts with stage 1 of the ADAPT protocol. Acknowledge. You have to stop telling yourself that your job is too creative or too regulated to be touched. The people pulling ahead aren't smarter than you. They simply started 24 months earlier. Catching them requires brutal honesty about where you stand. Once you accept the reality of the situation, you hit stage 2, dabbling. This is the messy phase where you act like a tourist, touching 30 different tools across 30 different use cases to build a mental map of what's possible. But looking at this funnel chart, we see a massive drop-off. 94 out of every 100 people get permanently stuck right here. They spend hours testing out a talking avatar generator or making a song with AI, but their bank account doesn't move. They're touching 40 tools but feeling totally exhausted, with absolutely zero increase in their paycheck. Consuming content about new apps creates a false sense of security. You trick yourself into thinking you're keeping up, but because you're playing with isolated features instead of solving actual business problems, your position remains completely vulnerable. To break out of that trap, you move to stage 3, amplify. You stop being a tourist and start acting like a resident. You pick just 3 to 5 core tools that solve a problem sitting on your desk right now, and you push every setting to its absolute breaking point. Pushing those tools requires learning a new vocabulary. The first term you need is system prompt. This is the initial set of instructions you feed the AI before you even start chatting with it. Think of it like onboarding a new hire. You don't hand a new employee a phone and say, "Start working." You give them a specific identity, like telling them they are a bilingual customer support agent who needs to stay calm with angry callers. Treating the system like an employee you have to brief, rather than a search engine, is how you start generating actual professional value. Next, we have to look at this process map showing RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. Instead of letting the AI guess, you give it direct access to your own verified documents. By forcing the model to pull answers strictly from your provided data, it stops fabricating information entirely. This bridge is what finally allows heavily regulated industries to trust these systems with real-world, factual work. Then we introduce MCP, or Model Context Protocol.
As this diagram illustrates, it functions exactly like a digital USB port for your AI core, letting it plug directly into external software like your calendar or messaging apps. Before this protocol, these systems were trapped in chat windows. They could talk, but they couldn't act. Now they can execute tasks and actively manipulate your digital environment. The final term is fine-tuning. This is the process of taking a broad, general model and training it to perform one highly specific job, like taking a general physician who knows a little about everything and transforming them into a highly focused cardiac surgeon. Stripping away all that broad knowledge to focus on a single domain is how you graduate from generic, easily replicated text to defensible, specialized results that your competitors cannot easily copy. Once you know the vocabulary, you reach stage 4, problem solve. An isolated AI tool simply performs a specific single task. A workflow stitches 5 or 6 of those tools together to solve a complete, complex challenge. Take a medical group operating 12 clinics in Chennai. 30% of their incoming patient calls were going completely unanswered, receptionists were overloaded, and the company was bleeding revenue. Here's their logic flowchart. Calls trigger a localized Indian voice clone. Rules filter complaints, and an MCP connection routes standard bookings directly into the calendar. This resolved 70% of calls autonomously, leaving human staff to handle only the 30% needing complex escalation. Businesses are actively paying hundreds of thousands of rupees a month for this specific integration.
They will always pay a massive premium for a workflow over a tool, because workflows solve complete human problems, while tools merely execute isolated chores. The final stage is tie together. This is where you stop being a practitioner and become an orchestrator. You design systems that work together in the background before you even wake up. Your AI reads your inbox, drafts replies, and schedules meetings, and drops a one-page briefing on your industry right onto your desk. It acts as a digital chief of staff. When one person can direct a system to handle every email, industry update, and calendar conflict simultaneously, they can effectively manage the workload of a 10-person team alone. Mastering the protocol shifts the power dynamic. You move from following the machine's pace to making the system your employee. Right now, there is a massive market premium for individuals who can build these specific workflows. This is the arbitrage window, where roles that didn't exist 18 months ago are paying more than traditional engineering jobs. But that window is closing. In 18 to 24 months, everyone else will catch up, and these elite orchestration skills will simply become the required global baseline for employment. The machine handles the coding and the execution, but it has no idea what needs to be solved. Precision in your thinking and the clarity of your instructions remain the only parts of the process that cannot be automated.